Hello guys, most welcome in UPSC Welfare. See, in this video tutorial I will talk all the questions which has been already asked in previous year 2018 Civil Service examination of prelims. So let's have. See, the first question is just saying here, so consider the following statement that in the Lok Sabha, yes, in the first Lok Sabha, the single largest party in the opposition was, yes, Swatantrata Party. So this is absolutely wrong, as we know that this is not the first opposition party. Second one, in the first Lok Sabha, the leader of the opposition was recognized for the first time in 1969. Of course, it's absolutely correct. So second is going to be correct. Third one, in the first the Lok Sabha, if the party doesn't have a minimum 75 member, its leader can't be recognized as the leader of the opposition. No, it's not fact. Why it shows that because at the present time you can see BJP government in opposition, Congress, as we know, they don't have actually 75 member in a Lok Sabha, but however the Congress of course stand as an opposition party. Yes, so this cannot be, so this is going to be wrong. So it means 3 and first is going to be wrong. So here, yes, B is going to be correct, means 2 is going to be correct. Yes, here is a marking that green color. See here, I would like to show you here. This one is a green color, that means is going to be correct, and red color will be incorrect here. Alright, so let's have second questions. See, which of the following leaf modification occur in the desert area to inhabit waterless? Of course, hard, waxy leaves, tiny leaves, and the thorn instead of leaves. All are, so 1, 2, 3, all are is going to be correct, means D will be correct here. Now, third number, as per NSSO, yes, 17 round, the situation assessment survey of technical household, consider the following statement. Rajasthan has a highest percentage share of the agricultural household among its rural household. Do you think it's going to be correct? Definitely, yes. Rajasthan has the highest percentage of share of agriculture household among its rural household. Second, see option number 2. Out of the total agriculture household in the first country, it's little over 60% belong to OBC. No, this is going to be wrong here. So 2 is going to be wrong. In the Kerala, little over more than 60% agriculture household report to have maximum income from source, yes, other than agriculture activity. So there is no doubt. Of course, 1 and 3 is going to be correct. So it means that is C. Fourth number question, C. This question the coming, of course, from National Green Tribunal. So NGT difference from the Central Pollution Control Board. How it is shown? Let's have. See, NGT has been established by an act. Yes, it's not, of course, National Green Tribunal hasn't been established by, yes, act, because it's, as we know, that a statutory body. So this is not established by an act. So this is going to be wrong. So the ones would be eliminated here. So definitely second one, C. NGT. What is the role of the NGT has been given here. NGT provides the environmental justice, help reducing the burden, of legislation in the High Court, where C. CB, of course, controls, as we know, C is standing for, as we know, the Central Pollution Control Board, CPCB, promotes the cleanness, as we know, and of steam and wells. MC2 provide quality of air in a country. So this is going to be fact here. So B is going to correct because only 1, 2 is correct here. Fifth number question. Consider the following the statement. In the Parliament of India, the can the plus the particular law in the 9th schedule of the Constitution of India. Absolutely correct. Second one, the validity of law the plus in the 9th schedule cannot be examined by any court. No judgment can be made on it. No Supreme Court any time can the review of that. If they suspect that will of course exploit of the especially a threat to other nation, any just we can say of course insecurity activity of this policy. So here definitely I can say that validity of law the plus in the schedule 9th schedule cannot be examined. No, it can be examined by Supreme Court. So no judgment can be made. So this is going to be wrong. So here only one is correct, but 9th schedule in the Constitution of course is going to give of course in the particular, as we know, is going to give in the particulars the permission, the power of the parliamentary, that the parliamentary can the plus of course or the particular law in the 9th schedule. Let's have 6 number questions. Which one of the following is best describe in the form the merchant discount rate sometimes in the news? See, merchant as the merchant discount. So merchant discount is nothing one of course the charge to the merchant by the bank for the accepting payment from his customer through the bank debit card. Remind you that yes, this is once again merchant discount here. See my dear here this one merchant discount here. Yes, it means definitely you have to remember that accepting payment from his customer through the bank debit card. Alright, which of the following the consequence of which is especially which is the consequence of becoming the member of the nuclear supplier group NCG? How can I just especially how can I be the member of that? How can the one country can be member of that NCG? See, the first feature has been given here of especially NSG, nuclear supplier group, that it will have access to latest and most effective nuclear technology. It's absolutely correct. It automatically become the member of the Treaty of NP, of course non-proliferation of nuclear weapons, NPT. No, this is not going to be a fact. So one is going to be correct. So one will be. Yes, because it's a fact, and there is no doubt that if anyone in the country is having, of course, the latest and most effective nuclear technology, of course, they can access to, yes, and grant the NSG membership. That's why India is also planning. Of course, not of the planning India has been trying to be, but still, of course, due to China and as well as the Pakistan and some country, of course, they are going to be not in the favor to join, to be the member of India of NSG. Now, here, 8 number question. With reference to India, yes, India has the decision to levy an equalization of tax 6% online advertisement service of food by non-resident, yes, entitled. Which one of the following statement is are correct? Let's have here. See, one thing has been given there. It is introduced as the part of the Income Tax Act. Not at all. Yes, non-resident, yes, entities that offer advertisement service in India can claim a tax on the credit in their home country under the double taxation avoidance commission selection. Both are is going to be the correct, my dear. See, further explanation of these questions I will talk in another video tutorials, because yes, I have minimized actually I have of course minimized the time here to attempt all the questions. So 9 number C. Consider the following: the statement of the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Review Committee report has been recommended. So remind you that here question fiscal responsibility and the budget management review. The committee report has recommended a debt to GDP ratio of 60% for general combined government by 2023. Yes, comprising 40% for the central government and the 20% of the state government. So it's going to be a fact, of course. This is a fact. Second one, especially the central government has domestic liabilities of the 20% of the GDP as compared to 49% of GDP of the state government. So this is going to be wrong. So because as we know that here central government has domestic liabilities of the 20%. Now how could it be? Because central government should have, of course, domestic liabilities more. So GDP as compared to 49% of GDP of the state. So it's going to be wrong here. Third option C, actually, as per the Constitution of India, it's the mandatory to a state tax the central government consent for raising any loans if the former own entry liability to later. So this is going to be a fact here. So 1 and 3 is going to it is mandatory, my dear, for the state to tax the central government consent for raising any loans if the former of any liabilities to later. All right, so which one is going to be here will be, of course, C. Consider the following the statement: the quality of imported edible oils. See, edible oil is more than domestic the production of edible oil in the last 5 years. Definitely it was a correct, my dear. Yes, the last 5 years the more imported edible oil than the production, of course, in our in our country. Second one, especially the government doesn't promote any custom duty on all the imported edible. No, this is not a fact. Whenever government, of course, has been that whenever the government intended to domestication, we can say focus on the indigenization company, then always government is going to, of course, impose the custom duty. So this is not going to be fact. So here only one will be correct here. Now see, elementary questions. Yes, he wrote the biography of Mazini and, of course, Giri, Balde, Shivaji and Sri Krishna. Yes, stayed in America 4. So, of course, there is no doubt that was, of course, Lala Lajpat Roy. Question of the following: so that Aadhaar card can be used as the proof of citizen or domicile. Aadhaar card can be used as the proof of the citizen. No, this is going to be wrong, absolutely. And of course, domicile. Second, once the issue Aadhaar card cannot be deactivated. No, it can be whenever you would like to deactivate. No problem, my dears. Any of course, any times you can go in a Suvidha center and just give the one application. Definitely they will deactivate your Aadhaar card, and there is nothing especially that it cannot be. This is not a fact. So definitely it's going to be wrong. So 1 and 2 both wrong, so neither 1 or 2, so D will be a correct here. 30 number question: the following is in the have sunk immensely dried up in the recent past due to especially human activity. Yes, RLC and lack vacancy. So the 1 and 3 is going to be the correct here. Let's have the rule of the law, as we know that this is by which of the following. So rule of law, as we know that will justice product is going to be a. So it's always, of course, there has been that rule of law. So what is the rule of law? As we know that right to equality, these all are things that we all are equal before the opportunity. We have to equal right to access everything. So such kind of on the basis of the fundamental right and the fundamental duty, especially on the basis of a fundamental right, actually it has been imposed. So these especially in news, of course, the rule of laws index actually always the release the bias which the World Justice Project. So D will be correct. Which of the following is going to be all the ATMs in India? So there is no doubt National Payment Corporation of India. All right, consider the following the statement: the capital adequacy ratio (CAR) is the amount that the bank have to maintain in the form of their own fund to offset and the loss that banki occurs if account holder fail to repay any due. So as we know, this is going to factor, because when we talking about the CAR, capital adequacy ratio, why it's going to impose? Of course, because this is amount where the bank have to maintain in the form of their own fund to offset of any offset in loss that whenever especially a bank occur if the amount if the account holder the fail to repay any due. Second, especially the cars are decided by age. Yes, CAR is standing for, as we know, that the capital adequacy ratio. So capital adequacy ratio is decided by each individual of the banks, not at all. This is decided by especially RBI. So the one thing, the reminder of that, especially here, 2 is going to be not fact. So only but the 1 is going to be correct. Let's the 17 number, the identity, the platform Aadhaar provide open application, the programming, interfication, identity. Here's the platform Aadhaar provide open applications, the programming interface, API is standing for application programming, of course, interfaces. What does it imply? Let's have it integrated in. Yes, it's integrated into an electronic device. This is not a fact. Online authentical, the using iris is, of course, all the biometric, as we know that we are giving their show iris. That's can be the of course, and that is going to be taken. So definitely 2 is going to right to show. 1 is wrong, 2 is correct, so B will be correct here. Very recently in Brazil, of course, the following the country having the lakhs of the peoples either suffer from severe famine, malnutrition, or die due to starvation caused by the war ethnic. So definitely Yemen and Sudan, and there is no doubt actually this question was taken from the current affair. So you must be updated. Yes, you must be updated. Yes, from all the current affairs if you're planning to. Of course, they appear in the 2019 prelims examination of a civil service. Now see, and the numbers regarding the wood dispatch. So wood dispatch, as we know that this why it was taken, why it was actually introduced by a Britisher, as we know, because of granting ad system was introduced. So absolutely 1 is going to correct. The second one is establishment of university was recommended. So this is also a fact, but English medium introduction, all the level of the education was not recommended. This is not a fact here. So 1, 2 is going to be the correction here. Now 20 number question here. Let's see. With reference to the Parliament of India, which of the following the Parliamentary Committee is scrutinized and the report to the House whether the power to make the regulation rule or sub the power to make the regulation rule the power to the max regulation rule sub rule by law. Yes, and by law, etc. the conferred by the Constitution or delegated by Parliament to the bank. So after all, asking the committee name, especially here the Parliamentary Committee, you have to mention those Parliamentary Committee, yes, scrutinize all the becomes the report to the House whether the power to make a regulation or rule, law, of course, especially rule या sub rule by laws especially conferred by the constitution or delegated by the parliament rather than being of course the properly exercised by the executive within the scope such delegation, that is none other than of course which one is going to be that? Of course, Committee on Subordinate Legislation, the remainder of that, and this is the facts in the here. Now, once again, let's have the now. See here, 21 number of questions. As per the right to the education RTE, has been a right to education, of course. It was has been that came in the effect in the 2000, of course, especially in 10. So now right to education I am talking here. So right to education, to be eligible for the appointment as a teacher in the state, person would be required to process the minimum qualification laid down by the concerned state council of the teacher. No, this is not fact by the national council. So reminder that so RTE, Right to Education Act, for the teaching the primary classes or the candidate is required to pass the teacher eligibility test conducted in accordance with the National Council of the Teacher Education Guideline. So it is going to be absolutely correct. Now third number C, in India the more than 90% of the teacher education institution are indirectly under the state company. No, this is not a fact. So the volume 2 is going to be the correct, and that's all. Because as been that education is coming the concurrent list, not the state subject and not the only union subject. This is the of course the education's health, and these all are the coming as we know that into the concurrent list. So definitely this is not going to the only 90% is how could we especially state. So now here the 22 number question C, we have to make the pair. So yes, Chapcharkut festival as we know that, and that is in Mizoram, and of course Kongyong, especially the Kongjom Prabha ball, that is in Manipur, but third one especially the Thakta dance in the Sikkim, that is not the facts in here. So 1 2 is going to be the correct here. And consider the following: the Food Safety and Standard Act as not replaced by the Prevention Food Adulteration Act 1954, absolutely correct. And because has been the Food Safety and the Standard was replaced in the 2000 especially 6. So actually Food Safety and the Standard Act 2000 as we know 6 was replaced by the Prevention of the Food Adulteration Act 1954. So this is the fact. And second is the Food Safety Standard Authority of India, FSSAI, is under the charge of the Director General of the Health Service. No, it couldn't be Health Service in there. So it couldn't be as when the Health Service in the Union Ministry of the Health and the Family Welfare. How could be it? So as we know, this is going to be wrong. So the one is a factor here. So the only one will be a correct here. Now next in the question here, see. Next, the question is which one following so to a state is sometimes there is a mention in the news context of the affair. So this is as you know, Israel and the Palestine always the conflict. So Israel will be the correct here. With reference to the provision made under the National Food Security Act 2030, the consider the following the statements and the family the coming under. Yes, the family is the coming under the category of the below the poverty line. Only are eligible, having especially eligibility to the receive subsidy food grants. So here only the BPL family they're talking here. So it couldn't be. It will be absolutely wrong. So as we know, I'm saying second option C, the eldest of the woman in the household or is 18 years. So definitely this would be because after 18 years, of course, his name will be figured in a voter list. So definitely. And now, who shall be, especially 2 number option C. Yes, eldest of the woman in the household of the 18 years or ever shall be the head of the household for the purpose of assistance of the ration card. So 2 is a factor here, and the 3, the pregnant woman and the lacting the mother entitled to tax the home ration, take the home ration of especially is 1600 as far as the calorie the per day during the pregnancy. The how much has been that we have the taking the protein more than 46 gram per day in the has been the protein in the pregnancy period. And the pregnant woman is the required because as we know that this will not intend to hunter of the malnutrition, so that's why it's going to be but here it's not the facts, especially 1600 the calorie. 1600 calorie, this is not the facts in the here, this is not here mentioned in especially when we talk about National Food Security Act of 2013. There is no especially such kind of the statement, especially any just we can say I'm the especially yes content has been given in especially under the National Food Security Act of National Food Security Act 2013. So this is going to be the wrong here, my dear. So the only one A is going to be here. The question is asking that under the food security. So amenity coming under the BPL family of eligible to the rest of the household. So not only, so is going to be wrong. So the 1 is going to be the wrong means, and 3 is also wrong. So only when the 2 is wrong, 2 is correct here. So yes, B will be a correct answer. Now next the questions. India enacted the geographical indications, GIT, of course, as we know that geographical indication of the goods. So the Registration Protection Act, GIT Act, as we know that we'll be talking about the GI, yes, GI, especially geographical indication of goods. When we talk, this is always has been by WTO, the World Trade Organization. So here the question has been asked that India enacted the Geographical Indication of Goods Registration Protection Act 1990, yes, 1999, yes, in order to comply with obligation to WTO. Now they consider the following: the statement India, as well the India state government don't have the power to auction non-coal mines. Non-coal mines. Do you think so that don't have the state government? No, they have. They have no. Actually, non-coal it has been given here. So in India, state government yes don't have the power to auction non-coal mines. No, the state government is having. So the cause has been that recently, as we know, some news has been known that displayed in the Hindu that in a northeast area, especially most of the child they are the mining, the coal mining, and as we know that by whole, especially the rate hole mining. So if you know what is the concept of the rate hole mining and where is going to be a such kind of the activity it happens, so definitely you will refer to north. So in the Manipur, of course, Assam, Meghalaya, there is and of course Arunachal Pradesh also. So here these the questions that state government, especially India, state governments don't have the power of auction to non-coal mine. So this is going to be as we know wrong. They have. Andhra Pradesh and Jharkhand don't have the coal mine. This is also of course incorrect. Now Rajasthan has iron ore mines. Of course this is the fact. So 3 is going to be the correct in there, my dear. Now yes, with reference to the digital, the payment, they consider the following statement: the BHIM app allowed to yes user to other transfer the money to anyone with UPI enable the bank account. What you definitely, of course, the BHIM app, as we know that this allow the user to other transfer the money to anyone with UPI enabled bank account. So there is no doubt one is the factor here. But while the cheap PIN debit card has the 4-factor of the authentications, BHIM app has only 2-factor. No, there 4. So it's going to be the wrong. So the only one. Yes, only one. A will be correct here. Next the question C is among the following, of course the city which one the following is longitude the closest to that's of Delhi. So definitely it's a Bangalore. Now international level organization, the convention, yes, 138 and 182 are related to a child labor. There is no doubt. Now the regarding the money bill, which one of the following? Which of the following the statement is not correct? So money bill, which can be the correct? Firstly, let's see. Firstly, just B number option, see it. The money bill has a provision for, yes, custody of the consolidated fund of India or contingency fund of India. Definitely. Of course, the money bill is having the provision for custody, of course, of the consolidated fund and contingency fund of India. So this is a fact, but we have two questions. Yes, those options which is not a fact. Next, see here, the money bill is considered to be the special appropriation of the money bill, but of the contingency fund of India. See, the money bill is concerned with appropriation. So appropriation, what is that? Appropriation is called the money bill, as we know that. Sure, appropriation of the money out of the contingency fund of India, sure, it's going to be a fact. So it's also correct. So this cannot be answered. Now the money bill deal with the regulation of the borrowing the money or giving of any guarantee by the government of India. So as well as Lok Sabha is having the power to decide that either it's the money bill or not. Or Lok Sabha speaker is going to decide, and as well Lok Sabha is having the power too, of course, especially when the Rajya Sabha, they can only give the recommendation, that's all, but it's not the mandatory, of course, to either the Rajya Sabha bill pass or not pass, of course. So as we know the money bill, which one is going to be incorrect? Only one, the first will be incorrect. Why it is so? Because first number, it has been clearly mentioned here that a bill shall be deemed to be a money bill if the content only provision relating to imposition, abolition, the remissions, alteration and the regulation of any tax. So this is not the fact only one. Of course, if the Lok Sabha is going to Lok Sabha speaker is going to decide that, yes, Lok Sabha speaker is having the power to decide either it's a money bill or not on any issue, of course. So here, my dear, one will be incorrect answer. Now 32 number, the reference to the election of the President of India, they consider the following, that the value of both of age MLA, the value is from the state to a state. So value of the age, yes, MLA varies from the state to state. Of course, some of the MLA is having, of course, more value of the vote in the president. I'm talking especially in the election of the President of India. So of course, some of the MLA of the some state is having, of course, especially much value of the vote than especially some of the MLA who are belonging to some other state. So as with that, especially here, this is going to be the fact, but in the value of the vote of the MP of the Lok Sabha is more than having the value of the vote of the MP of the Rajya Sabha. No, the both are having the equal. So only with one is going to be fact here, second is going to be the wrong. Both are MP, of course. Either they are the coming from the Rajya Sabha, either they are the coming from the Lok Sabha. Both are having the similar value, same value. So it's going to be especially here I can say that one is going to fact, second is going to be the wrong. So one will be the correct, and the answer is second. C 33 number question in the context. In Indian, the concept of where, yes, what is the implication of the ratifying of the additional the protocol with the International Atomic Energy Agency? Has been that what is a special implication of the ratifying? So there is no doubt, of course, the civilian nuclear reactor is under International Atomic Energy Agency. Yes. when we talk the additional protocol, what is that? So definitely civilian nuclear reactor come under the yes IAEA stand for the International Atomic Energy Agency. Remember that. Now this is the question as been that's coming from the ASEAN. So of course so ASEAN, this especially when we're talking about the Australia, Canada, China, India and the Japan, USA. So USA is not the member of the ASEAN, as when the Canada is also not the member of that. So if we remove, of course, if we eliminate of the 2 option and the 5 option, so 5 is 1, so 1 is gone, of course. As we know, 5 is in 2, yes, in the B option also, so this gone, and yes, when we talk about the USA 6, so this is in especially last D option, so definitely 6 is here, so yeah, this should be also eliminated, so only one C will be a correct answer. And of course, there is no doubt that yes, Australia is a member of the China is the member, India and the Japan is also a member of the ASEAN. With reference to the global, the Alliance of the Climate, the Smart Agriculture, GACSA. Yes, the GACSA, as we know that, the following system, the GACSA is outcome of climate summit held in the Paris in 2015. No, this is not the fact, because as been that it's the voluntary. Yes, it's involuntary, just like one kind of the non-profit organization, so definitely it cannot be. So it's not the facts, and the membership of the GACSA doesn't create the binding obligation. This is the fact, but India was instrumental in the creation of the GACSA is also not fact, so 2 is going to be correct here. B will be correct. 1 and 3 should be eliminated here. Now, which is the following is the aim of Digital India. Digital India, the plan, the government of what can be, as we know that internet connectivity in the rural area. So the formation of India and the internet that comes in like the China is not going to factor, as we know it's a bliss on the policy the firm of the cars now says the multinational the company. This is talking related to the big data, as we know that we are totally, I hope that you are totally clear with the concept of the what is the big data and how it's impacting the country and how it will be beneficial for entrepreneur, and also to collect the much data, information data to boost the especially when we talking the artificial intelligence, the whatever in the areas. So the my dears, especially the weekends, the 1, 2 wrong, third one connect with many of the villages. Of course, there is no doubt. So C will be a correct. 3 is the correct. So it means B is going to be correct. Now, consider the following statement: the pair in the 2 town. Yes, they pair the town sometimes in the country mentioned news. So Aleppo in the Syria, of course, again and again, actually more than 100 times it was in the news. So Aleppo in the Syria, because of the ISA, as we know that still in the civil war is there. So definitely Aleppo in the Syria, and second is the Mazar-e-Sharif in the Afghanistan, because yes, recently on the time, as we know that Mazar-e-Sharif in there, actually that was in the news because of has been that Russia, especially America was dropped in the has been that actually want to has been that in a particular just we can say Talibanist and some of the areas they are bomb. So Mazar-e-Sharif that in the Afghanistan, as we know that there is no doubt. So 1 and 3, the Mosul in the Palestine, this is wrong, and of course the Kirkuk Yemen, that is also wrong. So here's the which one is going to be 4, 1 and the 4 is a correct, so B will be a correct answer here. In the federation established by the Government of India in Act 1995, there is the power given to the, of course, Governor General of India. So B will be a correct here. Which one the following? Here, they consider the following in that, which is the following: the Speaker of the Legislative Assembly shall vacate his or hers the office if he or the C cases, he or C ceased to be a member of the Assembly. Yes, option is saying here the Speaker of Legislative Assembly shall vacate his or her office, yes, if yes he or she ceases to be the member of the legislative assembly. So there is no doubt, of course he has to be there, because who is going to be there? As we know that a speaker in the Rajya Sabha. Yes, in a legislative assembly. In a legislative assembly. So definitely, the member of the legislative. So as we know, actually, his the post will be seized. He has to be actually switch her especially post from the office. So definitely one is going to be a fact here. Second, whenever the legislative assembly is dissolved, the speaker shall the vacate his or her office immediately. This is not the facts and immediately, of course. So only one is going to be the correct, 2 is the wrong here. 14 number C, reason following the reflection the most appropriate the relationship between the law and liberty. Law and liberty. As when John Duke, the concept when we quote the John Duke, actually that his name is John Duke. Actually, if I'm not forgetting that, actually he given the quote that where there is law there is liberty. So all the same, especially if we implement of that the protocol here, especially the rule of especially law. If we see, then definitely law and liberty, what is the relationship? So there is no law. If there is no law, of course, and there is no liberty. So B will be a correct answer. Now see, yes, no criminal the proceedings shall be instituted against the governor of the state in any court during his term or office. This is the fact, my dear. Second one here, see, the emolument and the allowances of the governor of the state shall not be indemnised during his term of office. Which one of the following is going to be? So both is going to be the facts, as we know that emolument and the allowance of the especially governor of the state shall not be indemnised during his term or office. So this is also the facts, so both will be the correct answer. See, this is a very easy questions. Bani Thani paintings. The Bani Thani painting, as we know, that's Kisangara School. Now, term high altitude area defense. Third it has been that American anti-missile system, where it was imposed. Of course, third especially was as we know that third is high altitude. So it's in the American anti-missile system, and it was has been that in the against of the North Korea, in the South Korea, South Korea, America was especially, as we know, that established there for so that because of especially North Korea was, you know, that always the threatening to the America. So because of that, in the afraid of that, especially he imposed the third. Especially in South Korea. So this the question was taken from the current affair, as we know. Show an American anti-missile threat. Now, with reference to the cultural history of India, the consider the following the statement. Most of the especially Tyagaraja kritis are devotional song in praise of especially Lord Krishna. This is the fact, of course, and there is no doubt. No, actually, this is not the facts, my dears, because the most of the Tyagaraja the Kirtans are devotional song in the praise of the Lord Krishna. This is not the facts, my dear. Nor the mostly the Tyagaraja Kirtan are devotional song in the praise of the Lord Krishna, especially. Tyagaraja Kirtans are also actually devotional song. It's a devotional song, but in the praise of the other Devis and the Devtas also. So Tyagaraja created the several new raga. Now this is the fact here, and as we know, Annamacharya and of course the Tyagaraja are contemporary. This is not also fact, and the 4 Annamacharya Kirtan are devotional song of the present Lord Banketeshwara. So this is the facts, and so 2 and the 4 is going to be the correct here. Which is the following regarded as the main feature of the rule of law. Once again, rule of law, how, what can be? So a limitation of the powers, and this is the fact also the my dear here. Second, equality before law. This is also a rule of law. And the third one is the people the responsibility toward the government. This is not the rule of law. Fourth one, liberty and the civil right, and this is the rule of law. So the 1, 2 and 4 will be a correct answer. So here C will be correct. Listen to the followings. The statement correctly describe the meaning of the legal tender money. Which one is going to be? So as when that legal tender money, when we're talking the money with, yes, a creditor is under the compulsion to accept in settlement of his claim. Why? As because when we talk the statement, yes, the statement correctly describe the legal tender money. Legal tender money refer to the money which the creditor, and the, as we know, creditor is under the compulsion to accept all kind of the statement of his claims. This is the facts, my dear. So B will be correct answer. Now 47 numbers. If the community is the provided free to the public by the government, then what will done? Yes, the opportunity cost is ignored, definitely, because here the question is asking that commodity is provided free. If we the providing commodity free to the public by the government, then what will the impact on that? Especially, you know, opportunity cost will be ignored, and that definitely. So it's going to be correct answer here. Increase in the absolute per, yes, capital real GNP don't can especially don't can, yes, don't cannot especially a high level of the economy development if, yes, poverty and the employment increase. Definitely, because has been that he is asking that increase absolute per capita real GNP, but that is not going to be a thus can't high level of the economy development if the poverty and of course the unemployment increase. Other because has been that due to the poverty and the unemployment will increase, and definitely of course there will be a lot of the insurgency and civil right violation that can be the same, of course, also and of course everywhere as far as the various kind of the extremist and insurgency can be emerged, definitely, because why it's happening, because the poverty and the employment has been that, and this is a basic fundamental reason behind of the show here. C will be a correct answers. Now the 49 number, the question the following in the statement, the human capital formation as other concept is the better and explain the term of the process which is enable the individual of the country to accumulate more capital. This is going to be not a fact. Second one, increasing the knowledge or a skill level and the capacity of the people of the country. This is the facts, because I am talking human capital. So what is going to human capital? Definitely it becomes in the education. So education and skill. So definitely increasing the knowledge, skill level and the capacity of the people of the country. This is the fact, the accumulation of the tangible wealth. So this is not a fact intangible. This is not the fact, the accumulation of the intangible, of course. And because the education has been that is intangible. Sure. Of course, especially 2 and the 4 will be factors, so it means C is going to be correct here. Now see here, despite the being the high saving economy capital formation may not result in significant increase output due to what can be here. So high capital output ratio, there is no doubt, of course, my dear. Now 51 number question here, see. 51 number questions. After Santhal rising, as we know that actually we have already done a study in the history, Santhal revolution. So Santhal rising, of course, I can say that subsidize that. What were the measure? Yes, measure, yeah, especially measures attacking the colonial government. As we know that territory called Santhal is Paragnas were created. Second one especially it became, yes, illegal for the Santhal to transport the land to non-Santhal. So the both is going to affect, as we know that which means the economy, see here the question is saying that economy one often the result of the British rule in India 19th century was, of course, the commercialization of the Indian agriculture. It's not the facts. So they remind me that always that in the 19th century, what was British rule in India as a result economically? So definitely commercialization of Indian agriculture. Because as we know that, and due to that is with the Indigo revolt, especially due to Nilka as been Indigo, especially Indigo cultivation in the Champaran, the Gandhiji was actually has been they invited to the participate there, and they have started to the Satyagraha. So there is no doubt has been that it is going to be because of that, so because of final objective of the British in the economy, especially economically. The British rule in the 19th century was only one, especially the commercialization of the Indian agriculture. Now, 53 number, if the President of India exercises the power as provided under Article 356 of the Constitution, the respect of the particular state, then what will happen? Of course, the power of the legislature of the state shall be exercised by the under is exercised by or under the authority of the parliamentary. Once again, I would like to see Article 356. What is that? Yes, and this is as per 356, and that is your presidential emergency. Presidential emergency is going to be especially a state emergency. Of course, I can say that. So, presidential emergency, how it will impose? The President of India exercise his power as provided in the article of the 356 of the Constitution in respect of the particular state, and so definitely the power of the legislature, then the state shall be exercised by under the authority of the parliament. So is going to be correct. Now, craft and heritage of that. So as we know, Puthukulle is Puthukulli salts. So that goes to other Tamil Nadu, of course, the heritage of that. So the only one, this one is going to be the correct. So we call Sujani embroidery, that is north from Maharashtra, and Udyapa, of course, is Zamandani, that is not from the Karnataka. So one is going to fact and 2, 3 wrong. So definitely one will be a correct answer here. Now, which one the following? Which one the following? Area can ZPC. ZPC technology can be used. Mobile phone operation, banking operation, controlling of the power of the real estate, which one all are is going to be, because here they are asking that GPS technology can be used, of course, in the mobile phone operation, the banking operation, and the controlling of the power of the real estate also. Next, the question 56 number, they consider the following: the Reserve Bank of India has been managed and serves the government of India security, but not in any state government security. State government security, this is the facts, and because this is not the responsibility of the Bank of India. Now see second number, that is the bill are issued by the government of India. There is no treasury bill issued by the state government of India. It's a fact, and because the treasury bill is only issued by the government of India. That's all. The state government is not having the powers to, of course, the issue of the treasury bill. So 2 is the factor here, and the 3 let's have it's also the facts. The white shows because the treasury bill offer are the issue at the discount from the value of that. Of course, this is also fact. Now 57 number, they consider the following the statement: the Earth magnetic field has deserved every few 100,000 years. Magnetic fields, so definitely is going to be fact, and because the magnetic field, of course, that has reserved the every few 100,000 years. Now, when the Earth was created, more than especially the 4,000 million years ago, millions years ago, there was 54% is oxygen, no the carbon dioxide, no this is not going to affect, and the events in the living the organism originated and the modification that the atmosphere of the earth, which is the given the statement. So 1 and 3 is going to be the facts in the here. So C will be correct. WannaCry, Petya, and of course Eternal Blue. Of course, these all are of the cyber attacks. So it was always in the news all the time. So this the question was taken from has been that from the current affairs. So Banakrai reminded that as a PTI, yeah, the whatever the internal blow, these all belongs to, of course, cyber attack. Now 59 number. With reference to circumstances in the Indian agriculture and the concept of the conversion in the agriculture, the assumed significance, which in the following fall under the conservation agriculture. So when we talk about the conservation agriculture, as we know, the avoiding monoculture practice, so this is not fact. Because if we avoiding the monoculture, so this the practice will especially how can I say that especially in Indian agriculture this the concept will assist in especially conservation of the agriculture. This is not the fact. So especially one I will eliminate. So as we know 1 and especially the A and D gone. Now here see my dear 2 number adopting. See adopting, yeah, adoption mean adoption. Adoption, yeah, adopting minimum TLS. So this is of course is going to be the help for the conservation of the especially in the agriculture. So 2 is a fact avoiding the cultivation of the plantation. So as been that sometimes because when we're talking about the how we will conserve the waters because of especially by the plantation. Sure, definitely we can say this is not going to be the facts in here avoiding the cultivation, the plantation, the crops, and this is not facts and because if we would like to conserve the water, sure, definitely of course we have to go for not avoiding the cultivation of the especially plantation crop. So 3 is also wrong. So which one is going to be a 4? See, using crop the residue to cover the soil surface and adopting. So this is the facts, of course. Then the 5th number, adoption, subsidial and temporal the crops, sequencing crops and rotation. This is also fact. So C will be correct answer here. 16 number, the term 6. Here is the mass extinction 6. 6 extinction is the offensive mentioned news in the context and the discussion of that. Which one is going to the facts? So here definitely the will be because the mankind of the exploitation. Because see, this is very easy question because it's asking 6th extinction. If you know, because it was always in the news, this question was easy. Who always especially who was updated with the current affair and appeared in the examination of 2018. So 6th especially 6th extinction, yeah, of course you can say that extinction 6, yeah, especially mass of extinction also you can say. So what is that? It is nothing, of course, the mankind over the exploitation, the misuse of the natural resources, or fragmentation of the loss of the natural habitat and the distractions of the ecosystem and the pollutions and especially the climate change. Thus, sure, definitely we can say D will be a correct answer. Now 61, see, with reference to the Indian regional navigation system, NAVIX, what is that? Yeah, of course you can say the abbreviately that is IRNSSS. Sure, NSS, Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System. That can be. Yes, India has the 3 satellite in the geostationary and the 4 satellite in a geosynchronous. So reminder, that's a very important fact has been given here. So definitely, of course, India is having, yes, IRNSS is having the 3 satellite in the geostationary and the 4 satellite in geosynchronous orbit. Now, second, the question is the second option C is the cover the entire India. No. Not to cover the entire India, but India is the planning, of course. It can be in a coming day, but not in the whole India, of course. The borderline only wasn't having the cover because there's been that, especially in a Kargil war, especially India, of course, especially India requested to the America, of course, for give the ZVS navigations, but actually America has been refused to give. So as we know, that's why because of that, India was also decided to especially have the especially own navigation system. Now finally we have 7 satellite 3 in a geostationary, and the 4 is the, of course, in geosynchronous orbit. So this is the factor, my dear. And the last third option, C, India will have its down satellite navigation system with the full global coverage by the especially middle of the 2019. Not still not, but it can be, but it will have. This is not the facts, especially also because never any kind of the notification, special news was in the news, so we cannot say. But of course, let you informs the one news latest current affair that China has, of course, the global is navigation navigation system with the full global coverage. Recently, China has completed. Now, so the one will be factor here. That's all. 62 number. See, they consider the following in the famous. Light is